What's up, guys? Welcome back here for another video. Today we're finishing up $565 on the day, trading a handful of stocks. I didn't think today was all that hot, so I'm not going to do a recap video. I just wanted to talk about something different. And if you did want to watch my full live trading recording, that will be in the link down in the description. And if you are a Diamond member, you do get the Triad Trading live trading archives included. So be sure to take advantage of that. And if you're having trouble accessing that with the Diamond membership, make sure you contact support. And if you wanted to sign up for the Triad Trading live archives on its own, it's about $13 a month. And you pay for a full year, and you get to access my live recordings of every single trade that I take. And you guys can access that again in the link in the description. But today I want to talk about something different. I want to talk about why so many traders fail. What are the reasons for that? What are the reasons so many traders fail? So the number one reason why traders fail is because that their ego is too big. Their ego is just too big. And this industry is not like any other industry. It is not like, this sport is not like any other sport. And many industries and many sports and many situations, you can strong arm the competition. You can push a little harder, you can push a little stronger, you can fake it till you make it more. But when it comes to the market, when it comes to day trading, that strategy doesn't work. That strategy will only make you lose more and more money, because the market is always in control. The market's always in control. You are never ever moving the stock price. I am never moving the stock price. The market is always dictating where price goes. I have no control over the market. So when it comes to learning how to day trade, we cannot take the David Goggins approach. We have to dial it down and become a student of the market. We have to become a beginner. We have to know that we don't know anything. When you're coming into this fresh, you can't put the cart before the horse. You can't fake it till you make it. You can't try to make money before you're ready. And that's why I think so many traders fail, is that they can't put their ego aside. They have to win. They have to win. But in this business, you're going to lose 50% of the time, 60% of the time. So you have to get used to losing. And the problem with big egos is that they're unable to lose. And when you're unable to lose, that's when you'll blow up day trading. So that's the number one reason I think that a lot of traders fail, is that they're not able to put their ego aside and become a beginner. I've seen a lot of traders come in. I've seen a lot of traders leave, blow up their accounts, and go do something different. And it isn't for everyone. It isn't for everyone. But if it is for you, if you think it's for you, you have to take, what I recommend is you have to take the long road. You have to take the long road. That's what I did. That's what a lot of traders did. Taking the long road, becoming a beginner, and not risking more than necessary before you have a profitable track record. You need to have a profitable track record. You should not be sizing up if you do not have a profitable track record. You need to have consistency over the course of weeks, over the course of months, maybe up to 6 months, maybe up to an entire year. I was small size for over a year. I was small size, 10 shares, 5 shares, 1 share for over an entire year, close to 2 years, before I had my first $100 day. That's what I recommend, just because that's what's worked for me. I've seen some people pick this up just like within a few months, up to a year, pick it up and start sizing up. But that is so rare. That is like 1%. That is 1% of the successful traders that I know that have become profitable. More times than not, it's going to be the people who are successful in this. They took the long road. They didn't try to make money on day one. They didn't try to make money in year one, maybe not even year 2 or 3. They took the long road. They made sure that they had a profitable track record with a positive risk to reward ratio, a 50-50 win-loss ratio. Depending on the strategy, obviously that can change, but the profit factor on average is over 1.0. And if the profit factor is over 1.0, you're making money. And that needs to happen on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, and on a multi-monthly basis. 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, a year, maybe even more. So I definitely advise taking the long road and just be a student. Be a student of the market. If this is something that you want, what's the rush? If you see if this is your craft, if this is what you want to do with your life, you have your whole entire life. There's no rush. There's absolutely no rush. That's the way I see it. This is something I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life until I can't do it any longer. And so that could be another, I'm in my late 20s, so that could be another 40, 50 years that I could be doing this. 40, 50 years. What's the rush? What's the rush of putting all my eggs in one basket to try to push to make X amount of money in 1 year or 2 years or 3 years, to try to become a millionaire within just 1 year or 2 years? It's not realistic, and you're putting so much risk on the table when it's not necessary and when you're probably not ready for it. So taking the long road is definitely more guaranteed that you're going to make it in this business. And it takes a while to learn something. You're not going to learn something within, you're not going to be an expert in a year. It does take, it's the reason why, people follow the 10,000 hour rule. That's why it's a thing. 10,000 hours, how many hours, how many hours in a year is 10,000 hours? I don't think you can do 10,000 hours in a year. 10,000 hours, what is that, 24 hours in a day times 365? It's not even 10,000 hours. It's not even 10,000 hours in a year. So don't expect to even be, and that's if you're studying for 24 hours a day. So take out going to the bathroom, brushing your teeth, sleeping, eating. So really, it's only realistic to maybe get 3,000 hours a year. So 3,000 hours a year times 10,000 hours, or 10,000 hours divided by 3,000 hours. Expected to take about 3.3 years for you to start being at least decent trader, at least a profitable trader. I would say even being a profitable trader means that you're starting to get to mastery, just because to maintain profitability takes so much work. But expect 2 to 3 years of work. Expect 2 to 3 years of work before you really start making any money. So that's why I tell everyone, I tell all the beginner traders is, why are you risking $100 on the day? Why are you risking $200 on the day? Why are you risking $500 a day or more? There's no point. There's no point, because you're going to be losing money. And you just need to put your ego aside, become a student, trade to one share. Okay, sim, I completely get it. Sim is just like, sometimes it's not realistic. The sim, you're just not getting those realistic fills. You're not getting exposure to the spread. You're not getting exposure to the time delay and the population of your orders on Thinkorswim. So, I get it. Yeah, don't do, I don't advise sim just because of that. I mean, if you're a complete beginner, like you've never placed a trade before, okay, then use a sim. But if you're starting, if you know how to use everything, and it's like, all right, now I want to start slowly scaling, or, maybe, okay, at sim I'm profitable, but now I want to go to real money. Then yeah, use one share, use 10 shares to start getting realistic with that, with the fills and with the emotions and with the psychology behind placing a trade. And do that for a long time. Do that for a long time. Until you're a good year of profitability, a good 6 months of profitability. Because otherwise, if you have no track record, if your profit factor and your risk to reward and your win-loss ratio are negative, what the hell are you doing risking $100 a trade or $100 a day even? Would you want to give away $100 a day for, why would you want to pay more in tuition? Why not pay the least amount of tuition as you possibly can? And so with that, I say trade one share, trade 5 shares, trade 10 shares. If you need to make money, you shouldn't be trading. If you need to make money, you should not be trading. You should be having a job. You should have a job. Because if you're a beginner and you're trying to just pick this up so you can start making money because you got to make rent or you got to make X amount of dollars by the end of the month or by the end of the week, I'm sorry, but it's likely not going to happen. And yes, For some reason it does. For some people, maybe 0.001% of the people who do it, but it's most likely not you. And I am not being pessimistic. I'm just being realistic. This is realistic. This is the craziest industry I possibly have ever experienced, and I'm way more optimistic than I am pessimistic. I'm a very optimistic person. To be a trader, you have to be optimistic because you're literally putting yourself against all odds. How many people are successful traders? 10%? 10% of people who try are profitable. Maybe 5% or less or make enough to actually make a living. So, to even attempt against those odds, you have to be very optimistic. However, I'm very pessimistic about putting so much pressure on yourself when you're a beginner trader, when you have no track record, when your profitability is negative. You need to take a step back to take a step forward. That's the situation. You need to take a step back before you take a step forward. And that may mean getting a job. That may be getting a job. There's plenty of jobs that work around. You can set your hours around the market. You can work nights. You can work evenings. But if you have to make an X amount of money while trying to learn how to trade, I am very against that idea, and it's likely not going to happen. It's very likely not going to happen. I would never, not even myself, I would never have done that. I'd never do that. I'd never done that. I did do it once. Okay, I did do it once, but I was already profitable. I was still making money, but I did have to go back to get a job. So I did do it. I did quit my job before I was ready, and I did actually have to go back to working for another year. For another year, I went back to work. That was when, actually, yeah. So it was over a year. It was like a year and a half, another year and a half. So what happened was I was unprofitable. Then I got profitable. I was making like $300 a day. I was like, all right, this is going to be easy. I'm making $300 a day, and it's going to be easy to scale up, from 300 to 3,000. And before you know it, the market dries up. Market completely dries up. The opportunities are not the same, and I'm not performing the same. I'm still making money. I'm still profitable, but I'm not making enough. And the pressure is just getting so much that in order for me to continue on this path, I needed to take a step back. I needed to get a job so I can make enough money so I don't have the pressure with trading, and then I can give it another attempt when my skills are even better. And I have more money from saving up from the other job to where, maybe I'm not as pressed for cash. So that was back in like 2022. Then I went back to getting a job. I worked around the hours of the market, was making enough. And there's also, there's jobs with like remote work as well that are flexible hours. And then eventually, you start improving your skills over time. I gave it another year, and then I was starting to make more money, and I was like, all right, I think I'm ready. And then now it's just trading, and it happens again. I have no problem putting my ego aside and going back to work. If that's what I have to do, that's what I have to do, and that's the mindset you have to have. Is you're willing to accept any part of the path that you need to take, whether that be bruising your ego. You're willing to do whatever it takes, and it doesn't mean strong arming the market. But if that means, sweeping floors or waiting tables or working at a call center or folding clothes, all of that I've done. Then that's what I have to do, because that's the mindset you have to have. If that's what you have to do, that's what you have to do. If that's how badly you want this, if this is your thing, if this is your craft, if this is your sport, if this is your life passion, if this is your life's work, if that's how you feel about this, then you have to just put your ego aside and do whatever it takes to stay in the game, whether if that means going back to work or trading part-time, or going back to a simulator or trading one share. You have to give yourself the best odds of success. And for me, the best odds of success were trading 5 shares and having a job for 2.5 years. And eventually it worked out, and I don't regret it. And I will do it all over again if that meant in 3 years or 5 years from now I don't have to. I'm more successful, or if somehow the market just dries up tomorrow. The market dries up tomorrow and there's no opportunity. I'm perfectly okay with going back to getting a job until the market heats back up, if that's what I have to do. But my mind is so set, and a lot of successful traders is they have the same thing. Is like their mind is so set on this. This is their life's work. This is their life's passion, that they're willing to do anything to keep going, to keep it alive. So yeah, you know, as a beginner, you got to treat it as like kind of nurturing a little flame. You know, nurturing a little flame. You know, don't try to smother it with so much fuel in the beginning, with so much twigs and wood. Like, you have a little flame. There's a little flame, barely even a flame. It's like a spark in the beginning, because you don't even have a profitable strategy. Okay, you start to get a little bit of profit. You get, okay, $1 a day, $5 a day. You got a little profit. You got a little flame there. Start to add twigs on slowly. Take it nice and slow. And before you know it, over the course of a year, 2 years, 3 years, now the flame is up this big, and it's just like roaring. But in the beginning, you have to refrain from putting too much on the fire too soon. And that's what I see a lot of beginner traders doing, is they're going too fast. Just slow it down. Let's, you know, take a step back. Just take many steps back, as many steps as you need to take to ensure long-term success. But yeah, that's all I really have to say. Hopefully, for any of you guys watching, got some good value out of that. If you guys did, hit that thumbs up button for me. Support the channel. Subscribe if you're new. And I'll catch you guys later. All right. Peace.